Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is Bolt from the Blue Tarot. My name is Sam. I'm an intuitive reader and I channel messages for your highest good and the highest good of all. We're just going to hop into it because I decided to pull some cards before this reading and it sent me in all kinds of different directions. Yeah, let me start out with just some random stuff I channeled. You guys can use this as confirmation to see if this reading is for you. You can, take any signs, symbols, or synchronicities that resonate. Um, but I, when I opened up to receive these, I thought I was gonna sneeze for the longest time, but then I didn't. And you know how that normally lasts like 2, 3 seconds. This was like 15 seconds, you guys. It was a long time. So I feel like someone has been going through something for a long time and waiting for a solution to come or relief to come, or you've been waiting for this, maybe something that you feel intuitively should happen, but it's taking forever. So if that resonates, this is for you. um, and then I heard clairs. uh, this could be like your clairvoyance, clairaudience, your clair senses, or it could be you know just someone called Claire, or the store. Who knows? Um, and then I saw like green beans or peas in a pod, like some sort of pod, green veggie looking plants. A snow globe, stick pretzels, the kinds that aren't all pretzeled up, but they're actual like sticks. Um, Liver pain, like maybe some sort of liver disease. I'm unsure. Um, I saw a single crow on a traffic light wire or pole. Um, I heard grassland, comma savannah, so maybe that means something to you. But then the last thing I saw was the Wheel of Fortune spinning, like the game show Wheel of Fortune spinning. Um, and that made me think of the Wheel of Fortune from this deck. This was the last of the cards I pulled before this, but let me just read to you about this. It says, Fortuna's wheel, an expression of an unpredictable goddess. But I'm not going to read all of this, but maybe just some parts that could be useful. This is from the First Occult Tarot by Robert M. Place. Fortuna's wheel is a symbol of fate. This image is connected with the Wheel of Pythagoras, a divinatory device constructed in the same form. The Wheel of Pythagoras depicted here contains an inner ring displaying all of the letters in the Latin alphabet, clockwise from the 9 o'clock position. Each of these letters is paired with a number on a contiguous outer circle. With this device, we can determine the numerical value of the various names and dates, determine whether they will lead to good or to bad outcomes, and how soon either will manifest. Although the Greek philosopher Pythagoras is credited with the invention of numerology and arithmomancy, this device was published for the first time in 1558 and appears in almanacs into the 19th century. This card refers to destiny, divination, and the principle of change. It's important to remember, though, that the fact that events are constantly changing basically works in our favor. So there's something here about maybe you felt like you've been at the bottom for a while and you're like, when is this wheel going to spin around? When am I finally going to sneeze? when does the relief come? Um, and I think this is a message saying it's coming soon. But it will come on the back of change. So I think that's going to be a theme for this reading. The cards I pulled pre-reading, first I pulled this one, and this is from the the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery, again by Robert M. Place. This card is Morta. This is number 13, the Death card, or the equivalent of the Death card. So right away from this, I got like a softer. I rarely see death depicted. Like normally it's a skeleton, right? It's rarely an actual person. And, even more rarely a woman. I think this is a very soft, gentle death card. And there's actually quite a lot of life in this card. There's, green grass, there's falling leaves, a falling leaf, and then there's a little bird. There's just a very gentleness, and it's like it's either dawn or dusk, You can see a gentle twilight behind her. And what I get from this is the sun is rising. Like that relief is coming. But it comes with change. And that's what, a lot of what the Death card is about. Let me read from the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery. So, card number 13, Morta. Death is the reaper who harvests the body so that the soul, represented by the bird, may be released. In a reading, she represents the end of any situation. Sometimes we look forward to the end, sometimes we do not. In the mystic journey, the seeker must suffer a symbolic death to be reborn in a higher state. By confronting death, they learn what part of themselves is truly immortal. So, I'm getting less that this is an actual death. If you have experienced actual death recently, you have my condolences. I'm really sorry. And I hope this portends some healing for you from that. But just the symbolism and everything on here and the star took my mind to the Archangel Fire Oracle deck that I have, and that's by Alexandra Wenman. But it made me think of Azrael, who is the angel of death. And so right off the bat, some similarities where he's got this like deep green colored cloak. He's again like a living being. He's not some skeleton, some dispassionate death. He's a compassionate death, and he's like, his gesture is very friendly. So this is not a death that you should be afraid of in any way. I also really like, because I pulled them and then I put them side by side, and it looks like Morta with the one leaf is kind of like, it's almost like she's blowing or creating some sort of wind, and it's taken the exact same color leaves all across the next card, which I really liked. And then I put the third card I pulled was this one. And if you keep looking at like the way that the wind is moving, my thinking is it's about to blow this person on the bottom of Fortuna's wheel right back up to the top. So I'm thinking this is confirmation for, this death that you have to go through, that you should not resist, the symbolic death that will bring change, and it will bring you right back up to the top. It will bring good luck in the long run. This is a necessary death. All right. Cool, let's pull some tarot cards. I'm actually going to stretch my... I'm just going to challenge myself a little bit today to do some completely intuitive readings of these cards. So in the vein of this, can we please, Spirit, get some context for this death? Ooh, color. I like that. I'm gonna grab 3 of these. Chains. Jupiter. All right, so what I think this is, I just want you guys to see the art like I saw it. So do you see how like the pure white light from over here is being refracted into these different colors, and then it seems to almost become the chains, and then the chains spread out, presumably breaking and becoming, you know, the king of the gods, Zeus, Jupiter, the emperor, if we're thinking about the tarot. So what I'm getting from this is, I love the art on these cards. It looks like you should be able to eat it like candy. So I think that perhaps in the past, what has happened is your power, this divine white light that you channel through you, has been refracted out into a bunch of different places or people. It's like your energy has been spread too thin, if you're like me, on other people. And this has kept you bound, maybe in what you can do in your free time because you just don't have the energy, or you just have all of these responsibilities, like these people that you're supporting energetically. Or, you know, this could even be a job, like, you know, you're just being pulled in a million different directions. And that has created these chains. But I mean, if you flip this and you pull this power back to you, you can return it to yourself. Like, it can become, like, you can feed this energy back into you, and you can become sovereign and powerful. I think that's what this is saying. Let's pull some tarot cards. I'm gonna put the Wheel of Fortune back in there because that's a really good card. I don't want to shortchange you. All right, Spirit, please tell us a story relevant to this reading, relevant to the collective of people tuning into this. Knave of Batons. Aquarius. The Deep Kiss. 5 of Coins. The Lady of Batons. The Queen of Wands. Yeah, so I think I'm going to pull some more cards just to clarify the different parts of this reading. Because I'm getting 3 or 4 different stories here. And sometimes each of those can be for one person in particular. I kind of want to unify this into a story that works for everyone. All right, so first we had these two, clarified by this guy. So what I'm getting from this is you, in the past, have filled everyone else's cups. But what you're going to start doing is, instead of pouring this into 8 different cups, all of which are not you, you're going to say, you know what? All of this water is going in my cup. And when it starts to overflow, that's when other people can start to drink of my water. And only then, right? I think this is a turning inward. This is a self-care. And this is like honoring the sacred. I think this is like sacred self-care. Rituals that you incorporate that are just for you, practices that are just for you, time just for you, or between you and God, right? You and Source. And this will be massively productive. So I got these two clarified by the King, which in this deck is like the Emperor. So this will be really rewarding in terms of what I'm getting is your relationship to yourself. I know this can be a bummer when people see this card. They're like, oh, great, romance. This is like a deep self-intimacy. And, you know, don't turn your nose up at that, because it's only deep self-intimacy that can turn you into the Queen of Wands. And she is pure magic. Right? She's passionate. She's dedicated. And this card, faithful. So what I'm thinking is faithful to yourself, right? True to yourself. And honest about the best use of your energy. And giving it to yourself first and foremost. I constantly have to remind myself, so I will remind you as well, that when you do this, when you fill your own cup first and you refuse to pour any out until yours is full, you can do so much more for the world. Your magic will start to overflow. And this is not just like, think of energy in all the ways that you spend it. Things that you don't think matter really matter. If you see someone at the store and you are like a maybe you're a people pleaser, or you have had that tendency in the past, or you really enjoy bringing harmony or making people's day brighter, and you're feeling a little low energy yourself, but you see someone else is having a really bad day, so you go out of your way to make this stranger feel better, and maybe they just like pour out their heart to you. They, you know, they might trauma dump on you right there in public because you have the face of someone. Your aura gives off this frequency of like a safe space, and they know that they are safe to do this with you, right? And so you give this gift, but on a day when you don't have much energy yourself, what happens is they wind up feeling so much better, but you afterwards, you might not notice at first, but there's a siphoning of energy that may have gone on there, right? Even just by speaking to people, especially if it's to like make nice small talk, that kind of thing, we give away energy, especially if it's inauthentic. Maybe you're a big talker, but you've learned how to small talk and you do it even though you don't like it. What happens is every time you do that, you send messages to yourself that like, we are not authentic, we engage in conversation that does not matter, we give our energy away. So even the smallest thing, and especially if you're in like energetic debt, you know, you've given so much you're depleted and then some, start thinking about the ways that energy is flowing out of you without you even realizing it, and start taking back little, like strand by strand, color by color, power from different areas of your life. Maybe you can't up and quit the job that you dislike right now, that takes away a lot of your energy. Well, fine. But also you can set boundaries with coworkers who routinely transgress your boundaries, right? This is one little thing you can do. But you know, smaller things at work too. Just not hanging out in the break room with that person who you know is just gonna like dump their issues on you and then feel so much better, and you'll be sitting there with that energy. You don't need that. You don't have to do it, and it's not selfish to refuse to do it. All right. Let's get one last message for you from this storybook deck. This is Luke, Yoda, R2D2, and the X-Wing on Dagobah. So the X-Wing is Luke Skywalker's spaceship, and he's gone to see Master Yoda along with a droid called R2D2. And immediately upon landing on the planet in his spaceship, and it's the only spaceship on the planet, the spaceship sinks into a swamp because Dagobah is this swamp planet. And there's no way to physically get it out. But Jedi can use the Force and move objects with their minds. But Luke isn't well trained as a Jedi yet, and he doesn't know how to do this. So I think this is important to remember, especially if you've been waiting for a long time for this sneeze to come, for fate to turn your way. Maybe you're like, I've been doing so much work on myself energetically, and I'm not seeing results in the 3D. When is this going to happen? Just remember that our society thinks seeing comes before believing, but often, like, you have to believe in order to see. So don't lose faith. Keep faith in the magical, divine paradox that is this universe. Believing in miracles is what gives, the aspects of spirit that support you an opportunity to deliver them. You have to first believe, though, and you have to believe on every level. Our subconscious beliefs alter the quantum field around us and the structure of our lives. So make sure that you're choosing empowering beliefs and consciously cleansing your subconscious mind. A deep cleanse of the subconscious may be called for. And maybe you're like, I've done that. But if, like me, you're waiting for a long time for that sneeze, doubt may be creeping in. So it's just about tending to the garden of your subconscious. Keep doing the subliminals, keep doing self-hypnosis, keep doing all this stuff that gets to the roots of these issues. Get quiet and still. Put aside your ego and let the divine work through you to solve your insoluble problems. So this speaks to how they get out of this, which is, in the end, Yoda lifts the X-Wing out of the swamp using the Force when Luke says, "Oh, it's impossible. I can't do it because I've never done it before. And it looks impossible. It's incredibly difficult. And I've tried for a long time and it's never going to happen." But you have to believe first before this will come through for you. And it's not anything that your ego can make sense of. So you have to put that aside. And maybe you're used to doing a lot of work and taking a lot of action in the 3D. But you really have to let spirit work through you. Because these problems that seem insoluble from your perspective, from a higher perspective, there's a million different solutions. And the perfect one is coming. You just have to believe. So keep the faith, guys, as you go through this death, this change. Know that as long as you hold the belief that it is so, this wheel is going to move you right back up to the top. While I was looking at Fortuna's wheel, it was reminding me of a Frank Sinatra song, "That's Life." He says, "That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm going to change that tune when I'm back on top in June." I said, "That's life. That's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But I don't let it get me down, because this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race." All right, so I think this is perfect, because other people will say that this thing that's coming in for you, this luck that's going to bring you back to the top, is dumb luck, or it is impossible. And that's not true. You manifested it, and you're working hard to do so, just not in the way that they think of hard work, right? And maybe you feel like you've had a million different roles in this life. Maybe you feel like you've lived 12 lives in this one, and that's just so far. I know how you feel. It's because you, like me, are someone who can go through death after death after death after death. I'm a Scorpio. You get used to it. Because you're not meant to just be one person. You change every week. At this point, if you're doing the deep work, you wake up a different person every day. So other people can think of us as an old version. Don't worry about that. You've been all of these things. Just remember that. You can be one more, especially if it's better than all of them combined, which this just might be. especially if it's orchestrated by spirit. And it's not how many times you find yourself flat on your face. It's how many times you pick yourself up and get back in the race. All right, guys. I hope some aspect of this this reminds me of that meme with Charlie and the board behind him with all the paper and the bits of string, and he looks all crazy trying to explain it. I hope some aspect of this was helpful to you, and good luck through this transformation. Take care, everybody. See you in the next one.